Well, as Hamas militants continue to fire even more rockets into Israel, the Israeli military is firing back in defense. This as the United Nations Security Council has called for a ceasefire. But Israeli Deputy Defense Minister Danny Dayan says that's like the U.S. settling with the 9/11 terrorists.
When you speak about a ceasefire, it's between Hamas and Israel. It's like I will tell you that President Obama will sign a treaty with Osama bin Laden, with Al-Qaeda. Those people, you can actually buy ceasefire or get into a ceasefire only when you show that you are strong and that you are determined. I think it is too early to speak about it.
Ambassador Dan Gillerman is the former Israeli ambassador to the United Nations, a Fox News contributor, and joins us now from Tel Aviv. Ambassador, it seems that the Hamas militants now have the Fajar 5 Iranian-made rockets that can hit Tel Aviv. How does Israel stop them?
Well, Eric, I'm speaking to you from Tel Aviv, and actually I was at a movie with my wife and a couple of friends, and the siren sounded. The mall at which the movie house was evacuated, but I just went to my car and drove to the studio in order to tell you folks and the world through Fox that, you know, the name of the movie was This Is How It Works, with Michael Douglas and Diane Keaton, and my message to the Hamas is, this is not how it works. This will not work. You will not cover us. You will not make us run. And you may run, but you cannot hide, and we will get them. We will get this ugly snake of terrorism, these animals who are keeping their own people as human shields, who are putting missiles inside hospitals and underneath mosques and making families live among missiles. If you go to sleep with a missile, don't be surprised if you don't wake up in the morning. We will not stop. We will not agree to a ceasefire. We will finish the job and make sure that Hamas, after this is over, will never be able to raise its ugly head. And this monster, which is threatening not just Israel, but the rest of the world, will not be able to continue to do this dirty, dirty work.
You know, Ambassador, you just very vividly and eloquently described the conditions that Israelis are living under. What do you think would happen if missiles were raining down on Albuquerque or Memphis or San Diego or Fort Lauderdale or Dallas or Tampa or Raleigh? What would we do?
Well, I think this is the first question I would ask you, and I would ask every member of the Security Council who is telling us to talk to Hamas and to have a ceasefire. What would you do? What would the United States do if missiles rained down from Albuquerque, as you said, from either Mexico or Canada? What would France do if missiles rained down from Germany? What would Russia do if missiles rained down on it? What would China do? All these sanctimonious people who are preaching to us, who are they to preach to us? The Russians who wiped out Chechnya after a few missiles, the Chinese who cleared out Tiananmen Square, the British who sent out thousands of troops to a remote island in the Falklands, thousands of miles away from their own territory because of a couple of sheep. We are defending our homes. We are living in a very tough and very dangerous and brutal and cruel neighborhood, and we are actually on the front line of terrorism. We are fighting not just for us. We are fighting for you, for our American friends, for our friends around the world, because this is the first line of defense, and we have to make sure we destroy those animals who are trying to destroy us. And I assure you, Eric, we will not stop until we do.
Ambassador Dan Gillerman from Israel, which is under a barrage of rockets from Hamas and is fighting back, maybe for Israel's very survival. Thank you so much for joining us tonight from Israel and from Tel Aviv, that has continued to become under attack.